So this will be the reading for Pisces partners, masculine and feminine. I'm going to start with the female side of things, the feminine. And I'll just take off here. Basically, this is kind of tips and trends for the partners. So if you're looking or are with a Pisces female, then you should look on the Pisces feminine. I also take into account the masculine because sometimes these traits manifest, sometimes they usually do manifest at some point on both sides for both people. So you have a masculine that has feminine traits arise at some point over the summer. So this very much goes across both sides. So take into account the masculine and feminine, even if you're dealing with a masculine or a feminine, take into account both sides because this may help you out in any kind of tips you need. So basically this is to get underneath on the romantic side of things, get underneath these characters and really kind of help them float. I'm trying to give advice on how to get into the love side of things through the character and how they're going about giving you the insight you need to get underneath. So here we go. The Pisces female. We start off with the Five of Wands, which, you know, we came out of the Aquarius, kind of coming from the male side, coming from the Five of Wands. So a lot of energy that is kind of intrinsically yours, just hasn't gone outward with it. There's no action coming. It's all there and it's all kind of sprouting, just not yet made movement toward it. So this is the character that they're exhibiting over the summer. The next card I get is the Ten of Cups. Now the Ten of Cups really, to me, signifies, I mean, you got a couple here with three little ducklings. So that's really the happily ever after card. That is what I think they are trying to attain. No matter if they're single or partnered, they're trying to get that feeling of having it all. I mean, the rainbow's there. All your cups are full. Really, that's what it's about for these Pisces. The end card is the Ace of Wands. So that's good. When you have all this fiery energy, you have the Ace of Wands is kind of like the bringing forth, like the, now we're going to start. You know, now this fiery energy is going to really begin to, you're going to begin to see what I can do. That's what I feel like these Pisces are going to be, you know, more towards the end of the summer and the beginning of fall. I feel like that will be hitting. So their character and where they're at, these Pisces females are really feeling a lot of power from within. They're diving toward the point where they can act it out, and what they're wanting is to come from a sense of family and being grounded in that. Now when we go to the love side of things, the cards we get here is appreciate this moment. Each and every situation has an opportunity to grow and find love. So be aware of that, Pisces, as you are. Focus on love. Look for the good attributes in each and every person in your life. And then miracles and blessings. Everything has a gift. Now it's basically screaming at me that you guys are not looking in this sector or have taken a break for somewhat of a reason. Your foundation, your interior growing, that warmth that's growing, it's for that love and that. But I feel like your head is maybe not in the game or been thrown off. Mindfully, there's a nudge here from the universe. Get back in. Get back in. Look at this. Focus on love. You're not looking at that at this point. So be aware of that there's something going on here where you're not focusing on the love that it is that you want. So now getting into the sex side of things, the first card we come up with is the Seven of Pentacles. It's basically a couple here where we have a tie that has been broken. So you may have a situation where some of these Pisces are coming out of a broken tied relationship. So they are, and in that way, if you are not focusing on love, that would be the reason why, because there's just feeling like there's no love. The next card I get is the Six of Pentacles, which is kind of like a depressive card. I mean, she just really, her body language just like, she's had it, right? She's had it. And then if you look on the table, there's an apple that's kind of been put together. So it's really her taking time to put herself together, I think, is really what's going on here. and then the man in the background looking at her, she just has no clue of that. There may be people around you that care, but you're just not interested in going in that direction because you're just feeling so upset about something karmically that has happened to you in a physical sense. And then the last card is the Two of Chalices, so Two of Cups, which is that union, that physical getting together with, you know, feeling the feelings on a physical level. So it's interesting. You may have had a situation where you broke up and now you found someone else and you're getting physical, or at least thinking about such. I would say as a tip for trying to get through to these women, it might be hard, because not only are they not looking at love, they are not thinking about love, and they're just going to have to be bashed over the head with it. And it seems like there's a switch here. There's depression, but there is someone looming that is trying to get either their attention, or maybe not getting their attention, just sitting there waiting for them to get over and get through what they're going through, because there's really no sense in going in. And I feel like this is going to take the greater part of the summer and even most of the fall to get through, because they're really just kind of either getting over a relationship and needing the time to just get their head straight. Don't get involved. Maybe back off, because you can get some crazy stuff happening if you come into this situation too fiery and too soon before they want to take action, because it is up to them to do that, and they will feel guided to do that, but I feel like it's going to take a while. It's right at the end of the loop here. They're really not focusing on the right things, getting caught up in the negative side, so they're really going to be cantankerous to be around anyway, so you might as well keep your distance. Seven of Pentacles is just stating that they've been through a lot and they've had enough. And then the Six of Pentacles stating, you know, like, yeah, they got to start feeling this. They really got to feel it outward. And then the Two of Pentacles basically saying there's hope on the horizon. I hate giving that, because a lot of times I'm Pisces myself, half and half here, but a lot of times you give that hope, but it never comes to fruition. So beware of the hope that you have in your, you know, I really got to pick another card for this. Yeah, the Two of Swords. To clarify, is this an illusion that they're just, you know, and they're high in their hopes? And we have the Two of Swords, which is, could be, could not be, something you're not seeing, but it may not be as lofty as you want it to be. So don't give up your dream, but don't rely on it either, because it just, there's a lot here that you need to go through, and I think that's the key. So for Pisces females, man, you just leave them alone for the summer. They're not in a great mode anyway. They just need to be by themselves and sort things out. They're an emotional mess, so you're not going to get much out of them anyway. Sorry, not much good on that side. But they really have to figure things out on their own before they can come out swinging. But there is hope there that they will be taking action on their end, and that's really what they need to do. I think the Pisces are used to having a lot come at them, and they're either batting it off or, you know, dealing with it in an untoward way. So they really have to be in charge of things from here on in. And I feel like the winter is going to be a sign of that, a sign of things to come. And again, I don't like giving false hope, but it's not false if I tell you that there is stuff coming. You just are not allowed to see it yet, and are, you know, ambivalent. You don't know either way. So now for the male side of things, where are they at? The male Pisces, we start out with the Page of Swords. So we have some communication that might be on the light and airy side. I'm getting that these males may be spouting off a little of immaturity in the way of words. I feel like either they're getting hit by words that are abusive or downright immature, or they're spouting off words that are abusive or downright immature. I feel like there's some kind of reason they're doing that, I can't quite see here, the Hermit. It's interesting because the Hermit is walking towards the Page of Swords with the lantern, you know, the inner knowledge light. And it's like that guy's not even looking at it. His sword's actually pointing at it, and in a way that is like, yeah, not only am I not listening to you, like knowledge, like they're not going to be listening to what is right at this time. And I don't feel like they're going inwards. I feel like they're downright rejecting their inner knowledge. I feel like it's coming at them and they're going, no, I'm going off in this direction, and they end up at death. So they end up at an ending. So these Pisces males maybe have been told about something in the relationship. They may have been given some information to help them along, and they just outright refused it. And because of that, something is ended. Whether it's a relationship, a marriage, you know, these types of things, they're just outright ending. There may, if you are in a marriage, a committed marriage, it may be a behavior within that marriage that has to end. It may be as simple as that, as minute as that, but as largely as a dissolution of one. So beware of that. Pisces males are not going through some good stuff either. The first card I get on the love is consider your foundation. You're being asked to look at the how committed you are to love. So there again with the Page of Swords just underneath. There's a lack there of maturity in that way of commitment. So if you are acting in a way that is non-committal, beware that there are consequences for that, because it's almost like they're going, nah, 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 nah. I don't care. I ain't going to get caught, or it's not going to affect me. So be aware that it is affecting you, although you may not see it at this point. Be authentic to who you are. You are asked to be real. And true pertaining to who you are and how you feel. And I feel like that is the farthest things from, especially with this Page of Swords, I feel like that's the farthest thing from their mind, is being true and authentic to who they are. I think they have no clue as to why they do things. I think they're doing things for, you know, they're kind of spaced out here. I get a sense of just not being in heart-wise, mind-wise, anything. They're just going with the flow, just being immature about everything, and really not understanding how they affect people, and how they're going to be affecting themselves down the road. Not aware of that at all. The next card I get is spend quality time together. It is important that we spend quality time with those we are in significant relationships with, listening and talking to each other. Yeah, I feel like that's on the side of the inner knowledge here with the Hermit, is like spending time, but yet they're absolutely not doing that. They're going off and they're doing stuff. They're getting away from what they need to deal with. So not a good turn here for the Pisces males. They're really not doing what they need to do, and it's almost like an inner knowing, yeah, I know I need to do that to me, but I don't care. I'm going this way. I'm going to have fun, you know, kind of being selfish about things. I'm going to have fun, and I'm going to do what I want to do, and that's that. I don't need to answer to nobody or nothing, that kind of thing. So in order to counterbalance that, spend quality time together, and you can diffuse this. If you do not, know mindfully this is the ending that is near. On the sex side of things, I'm scared. The Three of Cups, so indulging in the sexual arena, which is interesting. If we've got a situation where we are being immature and not listening to reason, where is the sex coming in? So you may have some of these singles going out and tasting all of the fruits and all of the trees and not being loyal to one. So that's kind of that kind of a thing, indulging in the physical senses, just doing. And then it advances to the Four of Swords, which is really a card about taking over, you know, starting to really be dominant in the relationship to a degree where you have a partner there that's willing to accept it, but be careful, because that just very easily can tip you. You can tip on the other side of that. So, and I feel like when I get a 3 and then an advance to a 4 in this way, I've seen this before in other readings, and it really is the point where control issues start to come up and be, you know, not only the physical side of things, but all over. they start to take over, and it doesn't go over well. Now the end card we get is the King of Chalices, which is interesting because the King of Cups basically is the mature male, so he's the opposite of the knight, the page. He has got what he needs, and he is emotionally stable and sound and compassionate and doing all the right things, knows what's right and wrong, and makes decisions from that. And not only that, we seem to have a woman here who's being tended to. Now you notice that's all on the one side here, spending quality time looking to the, and then on the other side is really indulging in the physical senses. So it might be to a degree that we have to watch our control in the bedroom. For the Pisces males, I would say be careful how far you push in the physical side of things, because it can overrun. Now I feel like with getting the King of Cups at the end, you realize where that line is, and you're going to stay behind it. So, and also maybe indulging in the quality time, being willing to do that, willing to, be authentic and spend time together. It's kind of like it's morphing into that. We have one card, and then, one card of almost overdoing it. So if you were in a situation with a Pisces male, it'd be easy to get them into bed, but hard to keep them there. Meaning, hard to keep them on the long term. I think really what's going to happen here is you're going to have to indulge into your greater side of your compassion in order to get through the Pisces male, and really be on the more mature end, because they can have a tendency, some of them, not all of them, can have a tendency to be on this side of just completely aloof, that they do not indulge, they will indulge, but they will not take things seriously because everybody's being aloof. So there has to be a sense of a maturity going after these males, because they really need to be kind of shown an example here, I see, because they may not get there on their own, but yet there's a line here that says, yeah, they end up at the King of Cups. So how that happens, kind of not sure. But it may be the end of a behavior that is going on, that they actually end the behavior that goes on, and then it slowly morphs to the maturity where it needs to be, and then giving away some of that control so that they're not so looming in the relationship, and it's a little more relaxed, and being authentic will help them do that. So for the females, there's some action going to be happening here, but they're definitely going through a stage of depression and needing some love and attention. But I would, if you're looking to a Pisces, just leave it alone till at least the middle of fall into the winter, because I feel like they're really not going to be seeing clearly up until then, until they clear themselves. And even though they could have someone in their midst, prepping them up, I don't think it will do them any good. I think when they come to their senses, that person's going to go. So you don't want to be in there all alone. You just want to give them the space, let them work through their issues on their own, and eventually they'll come out of it. And then at that time, maybe they're ready to see. But right now, they're not ready to see what's coming, so they can't. And in that, they just won't. There's no sense coming at them because they're just not ready. And then for the males, there's some maturity processes here that have to happen, and part of it is being authentic to who you truly are, and the other part is really spending time indulging in your relationship. So if you are single, spending time trying to look in the direction of a partner instead of just flitting from one to the other, and that will help you gain the King of Cups attitude, which is all loving and all encompassing, but with one sturdy partner, and they're ready to give everything in that direction. So there's a possibility to change tracks here. So hopefully that's what happens. And then for the females, they just got a lot to go through, man. I thought I'd be giving good news over this, but hopefully it'll start to switch in the later part of the sign. So not a lot of hope for these Pisces people over the summer either. Seems like they've got some shit to deal with, and nonetheless will. So hopefully that will help. I don't know if it helps the partners any, maybe just to see what's going on and give the strength to back off. And that in itself might help. So hopefully that takes care of things. So for Pisces, take care over the summer and fall. Good luck.